Hey everyone, welcome. It's Naomi, and today I want to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart, and that is my top 10 reasons for why I think you should be doing online yoga classes. And I don't just mean like one-off online yoga classes where, you're on YouTube doing a yoga class or on doing, somebody's recorded class on Vimeo or even Yoga Glow or some of the other really popular recorded yoga class platforms, right? I'm talking about joining an online yoga studio or an online class community where you can do live classes with your teacher and also do recorded classes whenever you want, so that really you have access not only to your teacher but also to a community of people who are doing the classes with you. And I think that's a pretty powerful thing, and it just so happens that I have two of those communities myself. One is the Conscious Healthy Collective and one is the Collective Light. I will tell you a little bit more about those later, but first I want to tell you about my top 10 reasons. So here goes. Okay, number one is that you can do your classes on your own time. Okay, so you can do classes whenever you want, which means if you're an early riser, you can wake up really early and do a 15-minute yoga class to wake up your body, because I have yoga classes like that for you. But you could also, right before going to bed, if you need something to wind you down, you could do, a 15 or 30-minute chill yoga practice. Or if you have a little bit more time in the morning or on the weekends and you want to like go deep and do a 60-minute practice, you could do that also, right? So doing online yoga classes, it gives you the opportunity to really, pick and choose your schedule for doing yoga instead of trying to fit it in to somebody else's schedule, which is usually what we're trying to do when we go to a yoga class at the studio. Okay, so choose your own adventure yoga. Well, that happens a little bit later, but we'll talk about that later. But I mostly mean like choose your own time, choose the place, choose what you want yoga whenever you want. Okay, that's number one. Number two, online yoga is really an introvert's paradise. Okay, true story, right? So if you're the kind of person who, doesn't really love making small talk, when you go to your yoga class, or you feel uncomfortable, because the person next to you, like you want to be nice, but you feel really weird, or, you're just, you're a little bit more shy or a little bit more reserved, or, you don't come to yoga for that reason, right? You come to yoga to move your body. Online yoga is perfect for you, right? Because you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to, right? Like even if you're doing a live online class with me, right, you could keep your screen off, right? You could just come on and like be in the solitude of your own home, but also still be doing yoga with me and with other people, which is actually kind of cool, right? Like it's sort of like yoga anonymous a little bit, and also being a part of community. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so number three and number four kind of go together. So number three and number four, you don't have to get stressed out about traffic and you don't have to worry about parking, because all you have to do is park your mat in front of your computer and you're good to go. Right? Like that's it. You don't have to drive anywhere. You just have to be at home, right? So you don't have to worry about like, rush hour traffic or making it to your class on time, or, making sure that there's enough parking. I used to teach at this amazing yoga studio that happened to be in a shopping center that had the most insane parking situation. And inevitably on certain days of the week, you could not find parking. So people were driving around, running into class like 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, just because they couldn't find parking. So online yoga classes solve both of those problems for you and make it like extra sweet. Okay, so number three and number four. Okay, number five is that you don't need a babysitter. Right? And if you're somebody like me who solo parents a lot, or going to yoga class strongly relies on, whether or not you have childcare, then this is a big one. With online yoga classes, you don't need a babysitter, right? You just do your yoga class when you have the space to do it, right? So you might do it before your kids wake up. You might do it, like on your lunch break. You might do it when, like after your kids go to sleep. You might do it when, they're sitting in front of the TV and, watching some TV and you're like, I need a break, right? Like you put on a half an hour show and you put on a half an hour yoga class, right? Super simple. Okay, and it might also mean that your kids sometimes join you on your mat, which can be a little irritating for sure. Like, okay, I know how irritating that can be, but it's also kind of sweet, And I will say this, like in the online yoga classes that I lead, I frequently have yoga students who have their kids with them practicing, because it's the time that they get, and their kids just kind of get used to it. and they run around them, and it's awesome. Dogs do that too. The cats, not so much. I really haven't seen any yoga cats, but I have seen yoga dogs. So no babysitter needed. Just roll out your yoga mat, and here you go. Yes, that's 5. Okay, so number 6, no weird, smelly yoga mats, unless it's your own. But no weird, smelly mats that are making it so that you can't enjoy your yoga practice. You know exactly who the last person was that was on that mat, or who used that blanket or that eye pillow, right? All of your props are your own. Okay, and I think that's actually a big one. Okay, number 7, way less expensive. So doing online yoga is your inexpensive option for getting yoga all the time. Okay, so we'll do a little price analysis, okay? A drop-in class for most yoga studios is around $18. You know, somewhere between 15 and 18. Okay, is the general drop-in in most big cities. It's lower kind of in smaller places, but you know, like $18 is kind of the industry standard. For my Conscious Healthy Collective Lite membership program, which is sort of my streamlined version with meditations, pranayamas, 15-minute practices, and one 60-minute practice each month, that one's $18 for the entire month. Just 1 month. Like, that's it. You know, so instead of just one yoga class, you actually get multiple yoga classes and meditations and pranayamas, and you also get this archive full of practices that you can do whenever you want, right? So it's not just one, you get so many for the price of one, right? Which I think is huge, you know. So if you need your yoga to be on a budget, online yoga is for you, because it is an unlimited amount of yoga for a much smaller amount of money. Same thing is true for the Collective, which is the sort of big sister version. There are a lot more classes, and we do the live classes in that one. And that one, it's $28 a month, right? If you were to do unlimited yoga at a yoga studio, it would usually run you about $100. $28 versus $100. I mean, it's, yeah, pretty clear where the deal is in that. Okay, so much more affordable online yoga. All right, so back to number 8, which is choose your own adventure. So I talked about choose your own adventure before in terms of time, when it's more accessible to you. This choose your own adventure is really about doing the practices that you want, right? So when you do online yoga, you can seek out the particular type of practice you want. Usually when you go to a yoga class, you're at the mercy of the yoga teacher, which sounds kind of dark and problematic. But really, you know, like, your yoga teacher usually has a plan for class and what she's going to do, and you're along for the ride. But if you do online yoga, you can actually look through, at least in my case, you can look through the archives and say, I really want to do something on shoulders. Oh, look, here are a few classes that are specifically geared towards shoulders, right? Here are some that are 15 minutes long. Here are some that are 30 minutes long, right? Like, so it's very, very clear. If you want to do something specific, here are your options. And that's definitely not the case when you go to a yoga class. So it's very much more of a choose your own adventure when it comes to the length of time and what you are focusing on. Okay, so that's number 8. Number 9, you get to wear whatever you want. Wear whatever you want. So I know that's not like a huge deal for everybody, but I think it's kind of a huge deal. You know, you can do yoga in your PJs, or in a swimsuit, or in a tutu if you really wanted to, or as one of my friends used to do, like in a full-on gorilla suit. You could do yoga in all kinds of ways, and it's not a big deal, right? Nobody cares, right? Even in the live classes, like I said, you could have your screen on, or you could have your screen off, and you could do yoga in your underwear if you really wanted to, right? I mean, I don't, because, you know, like, I've got to be professional here. But for you, you can do yoga wearing whatever you want, right? Whatever you feel comfortable in. And I know that, like I said, I know it seems like kind of a silly thing, but I feel like sometimes there's pressure going to a yoga class to, like, you know, make sure your clothes are really clean, or make sure that you're wearing, you know, like, clothes where the teacher, like, it used to be like where the teacher can, you know, see your alignment, like that kind of stuff. No, wear whatever you want, and don't feel weird about it. Okay, so that's number 9. And then number 10, you get to connect in community, but not just in your immediate community. You get to create community of people all around the country, right? Which is really incredible. So particularly if you join in for the live classes in the Collective, and at least this is in my program, because this is a little unusual. Like most online yoga programs and online yoga studios and communities, it's all pre-recorded. Right? In mine, I offer live classes, and if you're able to make them, I get to see you. You get to see me. I get to see the inside of your house if you keep your screen on. You get to see my back porch, and sometimes my kids, right? we get to connect whether I'm here in Florida or you are in California or in Connecticut or in Texas or in Wisconsin or in Maryland or wherever, right? It doesn't matter where you are. You can take your yoga with you. Okay, like you can be where you are and connect with people around the country and around the world, right? So you start to create community beyond your own community, and that is such a powerful thing, right? Because the more that we are able to connect in community, the more I believe we're able to change the world, right? Because we realize the world is not actually that big, that it's actually really small. And that when we can connect in that way, we have a greater capacity to have compassion and to, want to work together. Okay. So that's number 10. And I will say, okay, I know this was supposed to be 10, but number 11, I'm going to throw this in. You can take it anywhere, right? Like you can take these online yoga classes anywhere where you have an internet connection. Okay. So, if you're traveling or, if you are visiting family or if you are, yeah, I mean, those are all the major ones, but, or even like if you are working a lot, like if you have to stay a lot at work and you need to take a yoga break, you can take it, right? Like if you're able to take a break, you can take it at work. So you can bring your online yoga on the road, but just not always the case. It's definitely not always the case, with studio classes. And also studio classes tend to be longer, right? Like if you only have 30 minutes as a break, and you need to eat too, or you need to do something else too, you could do a 15-minute yoga practice and then take the rest of your break. So it's pretty flexible in that way also. So those are my top 11 tips. Okay, I'll run through them again just so, we're all really clear. Number 1, do classes on your own time. Number two, introvert's paradise. Number 3, no traffic stress. Number 4, no parking stress. Number 5, no need for a babysitter, right? Number 6, no weird smelly mats. Number 7, way less expensive. Okay, much more affordable. Number 8, choose your own adventure. You can do whatever classes whenever you want them. Number 9, you can wear whatever you want. You can rock that gorilla suit or your bathing suit or whatever you want. Number 10, you can connect in community beyond your own community. You can create community. Number 11, take your yoga with you and make it super easy. So those are my top 11 reasons why you should do an online yoga community like the Conscious Healthy Collective or like the Collective Light. I would love for you to join me in either of these particular programs. You can find more information about these programs on my website under the Become a Member or the Collective Light. I will also be linking them in the description of this video below, so you can look at them there. Mostly, I think that, this is just a really phenomenal opportunity to do all of the things you just did or all the things that I just listed and get more yoga into your life. Because the big goal here, do more yoga because you will feel better. So, top 11 reasons. I hope to see you on the mat really, really, really soon. Okay? If you have any questions, ask me. Naomi at conscioushealthymama.com. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, I hope to see you on the mat really soon, sometime soon. Okay. Bye.